All right. Hello, everyone. Oh, the chat is disabled. Okay. We will try to figure that out. Mm, Okay. In that case, feel free to put it in the Q&A. Just let us know your name and then where you're joining from.
Yes, guys, I think that would be helpful.
Okay. The chat should be open now. Try and see if y'all can put in your name and then where you're joining from.
Oh, now it's working. Azel from Toronto. Eva Vera from Ghana. From Colombia. Florida. Wow. Oh, Guatemala. That's great. From Kenya, Peru. Wow, we have a lot of people repping. From Philly, Minneapolis, Pennsylvania. So Princess really want to take a lead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice to see everyone from all over the world. I see we have some Boston reps as well. Good to see you as well, our local people. We're gonna go around the room quickly and just do introductions, and then since we have that hour, we're just gonna jump right into Q&A. We're gonna talk a little bit about our experiences as well as first-gen students, and then if you have any other questions, just feel free to pop them in the Q&A chat instead of the normal chat, so we can differentiate between both. But my name is Princess. I am from Ghana. I'm a first-year student doing my Master's of Science in Global Health, the 80 credits version. And my first-gen experience so far at Chan has been amazing. I am in the first-gen mentorship program, which is a pilot program that started this year, mainly open to Masters of Science students, both 60 and 80 credits. In this program, we get to have mentors and just guidance on basically how to navigate Chan and the Harvard University as a whole. So I definitely have resources to look back onwards, or to fall back to in case I do need anything. And it's been great to be able to also talk to other first-gen students and relate with them. I'm gonna popcorn it to Alan.
Hi everyone. My name is Alem. I'm in the MPH 45 Global Health Concentration. I'm also from Ghana, but I schooled in China. So if I'm Asia, I'll tend to understand your background. Pursuing global health. I'm a physician by training, and I'm happy to meet you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Derek. I'm currently in the first year of my SM80 Master's of Science program in epidemiology. Um, I'm from Southern California, so if anyone is also from that area or from the West Coast, I can kind of understand like the process of moving across the country. And yeah, I'm also in the first gen mentoring network along with Princess, where we really get a lot of great resources from the school as well as from staff members and your fellow peers. And it's definitely a resource that I would recommend for anyone who are interested in moving forward.
100%. Thank you, Derek. I think before we start, I see a very great question, and thank you, Keegan, asking what does first generation mean? So first generation student is a student whose immediate family has never gotten a college degree. And this is specifically college degree. Like an associate degree doesn't count, halfway college degree doesn't count. None of their immediate family has an immediate 4-year degree. And that also includes siblings. If you have siblings, they're also considered first generation students. I don't know, Alan, Derek, if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, and one thing that's also great about the First Gen Mentoring Network is that they also include folks who are the first in their family to attend a graduate, to pursue a graduate degree, so that would count as well.
I think you guys have answered it perfect. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna get to the fun part. What questions do you have? And it doesn't also have to be just about First Gen. Could be about Chan as a whole, could be about our experiences, classes, whatever we can help you best with. Oh. While we wait for the questions, Alan and Derek, can you just tell us or tell them a little bit of what drew you to your program at Harvard Chan?
Yep. So I think someone says I'm a physician who is interested in health policy. Can you share your experience? Okay, so I'm sure most of you might be a little bit confused about which program to go in. Chan offers an MPH program, which is 45 credits and 65, and also offers a master's, which is the MS 80, right? The 45 credits is basically the number of courses that you're taking. It would amount to a credit, which is mostly done within a year, basically 9 months. And the 65 runs for a year and a half. The SM80 goes for 2 years, which is more research inclined. They tend to have the better part of Chan. They have long summer internships. The MPH also tends to get that, but it's quite short. The MPH is mostly done is for people who have had a proud experience in public health work, or they're physicians, or just a medical student who wants to take a gap year. That is mostly the target audience, but almost anyone can go in. Under the MPH, we do have health policy, health management, global health, quantitative methods, epidemiology, and so on and so forth. The good part is that aside your core courses, you can cross-register to take any course either in nutrition, or you can take another course in health policy, even if you're in global health. So I think that is what it is about. Day to day is classes, networking, some fun, and that's just it. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Alan.
those insights. I do want to just chime in to remind everyone that if you have questions, to please use the Q&A function on the Zoom, as it will be easier for us to keep track of all of them. So if you've already dropped your question in the webinar chat, please feel free to just copy and paste it over the Q&A one, and then we can go from there. But one of the questions I saw about was about whether or not there are programs or initiatives that focus on health equity and community service that could help that students demonstrate commitment to these areas. I would say that well, I'll first answer for just the Chan School in general, but I would say that a lot of the extracurricular programs or initiatives are focused on health equity. It is kind of like one of the big mission statements for our school, and that it is sorry, is my internet stable? I keep getting the notification for okay. Um, but it is part of our school's mission statement to ensure that like kind of the research work and the community work that we um or that we do work towards the ultimate goal of health equity. And so there are not only like research led by faculty members that students can be involved in. There are also like events like last month we had the Chan like Community Day of Service, where for the day. We also had activities at the school itself and the cafeteria where students were able to make like blankets, write cards that also go towards different communities in need.
Thank you, Derek. I see a question about the environment for international students and how easy it was to get funding for first generation students. So I'll definitely say Chan does create a lot of opportunities for international students to have access to the resources here on campus and within the Harvard University as well, not just secluded to the School of Public Health. I think in regards to whatever you're looking for when you initially come in, we have orientation, and during orientation, we do have a specific segment for international students. And that's where you get all the resources, all the information, everything you need to know to be able to be successful at the school. And then in terms of funding and scholarships, as part of your application, there is a financial aid application as well that you are able to submit. I will highly recommend completing that as well in addition to your application. That would increase your chances of getting financial aid. And in addition, even if that once you use that option, you still have the option to apply for jobs here on campus. There are opportunities to work in different labs, different schools, not just the School of Public Health. So you do have options to be able to kind of help with that cost aspect.
And I would also say there are a lot of communities here, international communities. We have the African Society, we have the Asian, we have the Chinese clubs, and all these tend to give you a good supporting system. And this is also part of inclusion that Chan tends to support, not just these organizations, but just to make sure that students feel protected and included in this environment. Yeah, but I would say for scholarships, it ties in with your entire application. You should try and put in your best foot forward, and you're always considered based on every other factor, not just being an international student.
And I saw some questions about like the availability of resources here at Chan, as well as opportunities to connect with other students. I'll kind of link this question to other questions about like any resource related questions, such as like networking. But I would say so far my experience at Chan has been just that it's a really supportive community, and that like if I do aside from all the resources that are already available to students, if I need any additional, like if I'm thinking of like any additional like project idea or any additional research or outreach to any other organization, the staff members and the faculty members here are more than happy to help you with that, to help you form the connection, or to refer you to organizations or other resources. So I would say that that itself kind of is kind of exemplifies the supportive nature at Chan. And as for networking resources, I would say that there also within the school itself, we have like school-wide networking events that are sometimes happen. These can be like ranging from like dinners at certain places, or it could be like painting together at the cafeteria. There are also department-specific socials for you to meet fellow master's students and PhD students in the department, or to meet faculty members and other staff members as well. And those kind of happen for the epidemiology department at least quite frequently and routinely. So there really is ample opportunities for you to meet fellow students and faculty members. And I saw the question about what is the best place to live. So there are housing options available near kind of where Chan School is located at. So there's Shattuck International Housing, which is available for both domestic and international students. And there's also Vanderbilt Housing as well, which is the dorm like residence dorms for medical students, dental students, and public health students. And that kind of the format is kind of just like a dorm situation, where you get like shared community kitchen and then shared showers on the floors. You could also I also know students who get housing through Harvard University Housing Services like HUHS, where they get housing through other graduate schools as well.
I'd see someone asking about global health. Princess, would you want to talk? I want to be more specific about shaping my career, pursuing an MPH concentration. How would it help my future as a surgeon? Yes, so I'm a physician and I'm currently doing the global health concentration, and it exposes you to health within a global view. You are not just doing global health, but you tend to tackle all the facets of the other concentrations. It exposes you to what's happening in other parts of the world, and through that you'd get the opportunity to meet other people within the health sector. As one of my I'm doing a practicum, and one of my practicum is working with I think there's what we call the global neurosurgeon, which is part of neurosurgery, and it's one of the things that I'm focusing on. And working with them, trying to publish more articles would help me as my career pathway. So I think that as a surgeon, there's always opportunity within global health to expand yourself or any other person. And that is one thing I could say about. For the number of people in a class, it is not quite determined. Last year, my class, we had about 56 people in our cohort, but this year we're just 26. That is in the MPH 45. So I think that it is year-based.
Yeah, and I can speak a little bit more about the research track-ish type for global health. So I'm, like I said, I'm doing a master's of science, so I am interested more in like research, more PhD track. And I think with that degree, my main focus is on health systems. So researching how we can strengthen health systems in different areas of the world, and then also focusing on a little bit of standardization with different health systems and how we can ensure that everyone is getting the same access to healthcare wherever it is that they are. And it shouldn't be dependent on either the country that you're in or the region that you're in. And that track also has a lot to do. It's very quantitative heavy, let me just say that. So you're doing a lot of epi, biostats, you're doing demography. So you really have to know how to calculate life expectancies, life tables. You have to focus on Z calculations, et cetera, et cetera. Derek and I are taking most of the same classes. So it's been fun being able to be in that sector. But the great thing about it is also you get the chance to do mixed methods research and study if that's something that you're interested in. So it doesn't have to be just quantitative. If you're interested in qualitative research, that's also an option that's open to you. Our staff and our faculty here are doing great research in so many areas of the world. So it's very much an open opportunity for you to explore different areas of global health that you want to work with. I know people are doing epidemiology, people are doing maternal and child health. There's so many options. So very much whatever you would like.
And also, there's a question that mentioned my name about a nutrition course. Yes, nutrition is a very big deal. There's a big faculty on the population and nutrition, which is led by a very great renowned Professor Fauzi, and it's a very great concentration. People tend to learn a lot. They do work across the world, just in Africa and other parts of the world. But even if you're not in the nutrition concentration, there's a certificate you can do along your cohort. So I'm doing global health, but I can take certain courses, and at the end of the day, I have an MPH degree, and I also have a nutrition and in global health, which is a certificate. So it was part of an application that I did when I came on campus, and I've been selected into that program. So but it does have some requirements. You might have to attend some number of seminars, do some presentations, and do a research in that area. So I would say nutrition is a very big thing, and you would love it when you come in. Amazing professors. You can look them up on the webpage.
Okay, I will answer some questions about. I saw a question about whether or not the program is remote or in person. So we do have, I believe for all of our programs, that for us through here, they're all in person programs, but there are remote and hybrid programs that have additional kind of requirements and eligibility associated with them that can be found on our admissions website. As for funding opportunities, so I believe that after the application deadline, applicants will receive like an email from the Office of Financial Aid to complete scholarship applications. So that's kind of the opportunity to apply for institutional funding or scholarships at Chan. But it is heavily advised for applicants to apply for outside funding as well.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. One thing that I think I want to answer is in regards to networking opportunities to kind of get involved, even if you're not part of Harvard. In regards to networking and classes, yes, there are tons and tons of opportunities to network, not just even within the School of Public Health, but outside. Once you're part of Harvard University, you're part of the entire system. So you can go to any events, whether that's at the law school, business school, the college itself, like it's really open to you. I think one thing that the School of Public Health does great with specifically is looking for opportunities for students to interact with different recruiters, employees, and also alumni who are working in different regions. Like this week, we're doing careers in global health. So people have gotten the opportunity to talk to representatives from like the World Health Organization. The past few weeks we had the climate week, which was great as well. So there are opportunities for you to network outside of classes, which is very much also recommended. Classes are great. It's good to get good grades, but it's also great to be able to expand your network. I will also say, even if you are not part of Harvard or you are not a student, there are opportunities also or events that are open to all people. Some of them are in person, some of them are online. I know a couple of us are not here in Boston, but if you would like to definitely just get into the community and see where people are at, what people are doing, look out for those opportunities that are open to the public, and then join those. I know the Harvard Global Health Institute, for example, does a ton of events that are open to the public, and it's all online. All you have to do is just go to the website, subscribe to the newsletters. If you're interested in Africa, look at the Center for African Studies. If you're interested in climate change, look at the Salada Institute. There's so many places. So really, it's more about you looking out for those opportunities. Make sure that you're connected. Make sure that you're looking, like you're researching these places and joining these events. Those are great ways to network. And then even this panel that we're on, it's a great way to be able to connect with others, ask questions. I hope that answers everything in regards to networking.
Yeah, I think it should also answer someone's question. He says he's a dentist and is trying to apply to the PhD program. Should he go through SOFAS or cold mails? A PhD program is highly competitive. I would say very, very competitive as compared to the MPH and SM. So with PhD, you will be working for the person for like 5 years. So they want to see that kind of connection. And usually when you are able to attend some of these nice programs that Princess spoke about, you tend to understand what their interest is. You would tend to know whether you align with them, and that would give you an opportunity to work with them. And also whether it is advisable to just move into a DRPH or PhD program. It's quite individual specific and what you want out of the program. Someone might want to go into academia. So right after MPH, they might want to move in, do research a little bit, from fellowship a little bit, and go into a PhD or a DRPH. That would be their choice. But if you just want to pivot yourself into the working field, earn money, do some real change, one advice that I got was, if there's no need for you to be a PhD, don't be a PhD. So that it depends on who you are and what you want.
I do want to add that for the difference also in the admissions process for PhD and Dr. PH is that our Chan School's Office of Admissions handles the Dr. PH applications and all the inquiries regarding that. you are interested in applying for a PhD program, please note that the application process will be handled by the Harvard Griffin Graduate School of Arts and Sciences instead of the Chan School. So all the application kind of materials and stuff will be submitted to that school instead in the application process. The application, I don't believe it's through SOFAST. I believe it's through a different application with the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. So make sure to understand this distinction. And if you have any questions, to direct it to the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences for PhD.
Yes, thank you for that clarification, Derek. I know some people sometimes it does get confusing with that. I think I would pivot to admissions, and I see a lot of questions about what was the hardest part, how do you stand out, etc. I think for this one, all three of us should answer because it really does differ because everybody is their own individual person. You come in and you're very unique in the process. So for me, I knew that I definitely wanted to do a master's of science because I am interested in research. In my undergrad, I did major in public health and I did have a variety of research experiences, working in different labs and then different areas of public health. So I did research in maternal and child health, but I also did research in health systems, crisis management, and then a little bit of cancer here and there. So those experiences was what helped me realize that I do want to go into research. Some were quant, some were qual, it really differs. I definitely also had some extracurriculars that I was involved with. So that was something that I also did just to be able to gain skills outside of the classroom. So if that is something that you know that you have as well, feel free to add anything that makes you stand out. What are your skills? Are you presenting yourself? What are the things that you've learned that are going to be applicable to the degree that you're in? And also be very honest with your personal statement. Say the things that you have done and the things that you believe you can do with the degree. They really want to know you and what you can do. So it's very, very important that when you're writing your personal statement that you're actually being honest and you're expressing to the admissions team why exactly you want to pursue this degree, why you want to, what you want to do with it, etc. And then also one thing that I'll highlight is your letters of recommendation. Always make sure that you're getting them from people who actually know you, because that's something that is actually being taken into consideration. And this is from not me, but from faculty and other admissions people that I've talked to. They are very much interested in getting to know you as a person. So who can best represent you? If you have a big name who can, that's great. But if they don't know you, there's always some pros and cons to that. So just make sure that you're getting your letters of recommendation from people who can tell of your skill, of your abilities, and just basically let us know who you are. Yeah.
Princess has said a lot. It is very true. When you get to Harvard, you end up realizing that there is something unique about the student body. Everyone is very, very talented and everyone is very unique. And that is what we want to, that's what you have to communicate in your statement of purpose. Whatever you've done, it must be a storyline. I've met some couple of people last week during my office hours one-on-one, and I used to tell them that you have to communicate why you want an MPH. What made you go into college? What made you do an undergrad? And during the undergrad, why did you do this thing? Why is it of excellence to you right now? And what do you hope to do with it in the near future? Yes, you want to do an MPH. It can be done anywhere else, but why Harvard? Why does Harvard speak to you? Try and look up on some of the resources on the website, see what Harvard has that other universities don't have. Harvard has a very strong international student body. Harvard fosters more equity. Harvard fosters gives more networking opportunities as compared to any other university that I know of. And these are the things that you want to talk to the admissions board about. There's a particular program, there might be a particular course that you've seen, a particular lecturer who or a professor who attended a program and see him give a speech and you feel like, oh, I've looked up his works and I would want to be under that person. These are things that you should really speak out. And letters of recommendations, you don't necessarily need the top name, just get someone who is willing to talk very good about you. It might be the lowest person at the workplace, but once it is a recommendation letter, it's able to sell you well and it goes hand in hand with what your statement of purpose is saying, it should marry each other. And I think you're all meant to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Princess and Alan, for those really valuable insights. I think similar to you guys, I think I I chose to also pursue a master's in science because of my interest in research. As an undergrad, well, back in undergrad, I realized I really like kind of problem solving within the research CO next year. And just like kind of thinking about like, oh, what analyses to do, like different like challenges or methods related to study design just really kind of intrigued me a lot, which is how I identified um my reason to pursue a research degree instead of like a practice-based one. Um, and yeah, kind of the storytelling of your application. I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and you know, I think that it's always really valuable for like your application materials, your statements, extracurriculars, and letters of recommendation to reflect that story that you reflect your story. I think that oftentimes what I hear very often in the field of public health from faculty and students is that um, people kind of get into public health for a reason. There's kind of like a like defining event or events or process of why someone ended up in public health, and I think that that story speaks volumes to and it's different for everyone as well. And I think that this application process is like a great chance for folks to tell their story. Um, yeah. Um,
I see a question directed to me, that why clinical effectiveness. Um, so I chose global health because of my background and my interest. I had my undergrad in China for 6 years, and I was engaged in community service with health professionals as being a medical student. I went back to Ghana and I practiced for 3.5 years as a clinician. I also worked in underserved communities, and this was where I found passion outside clinical work. And I felt like I needed to understand what is happening globally, try to expand my knowledge in public health. So I was more into like the MPH in global health spoke to me more as compared to clinical effectiveness. So that is why I pursued that. And I would say it, it's not only English proficiency and a GPA which is required. I think that you don't need to have the perfect GPA 4.0. No, you should just meet the barest minimum, but try to make sure that you are unique in yourself and you'd have a chance. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we should shift gears. I'm seeing some questions about what's so exciting about Harvard, or the exciting aspects of Harvard, and being a student. So, let me popcorn it to Derek. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah. Also, before I answer that, I saw a question about someone from the West Coast as well, and they would like to know about the experience of moving coast to coast. Um, yeah. So I moved to Boston this summer, and um, it was I think it was very different, kind of the environment from like Southern California to now in like Boston. The like lifestyle I would say is quite different. Whereas I used to driving around to different places to now I'm walking a lot and also taking public transit, which honestly, in my opinion, is really like I really enjoy like a walkable city and like city with really great kind of like public transportation. Um, and and so far I would say that I really enjoy living in Boston. The architecture is absolutely like stunning. And always like a lot of things to do, a lot of like places to discover. One thing though I do want to know is you can see I'm currently in my puffer jacket as that it gets really cold right now. Like I don't think I've ever experienced this level of cold, and I'm hearing that it will get colder. That's one thing to keep in mind though. To make sure to bring like winter clothes or get new winter clothes as well. And sorry, what was the original question?
What's
Kind of went on a
the
side.
most exciting
Yeah.
thing about Harvard?
What was the
What's your exciting thing about Harvard? Like what do you find exciting as a student, extern?
Oh yeah. Um, I would say just the sheer amount, like there's always something happening at our school and at other Harvard schools as well. So it's just I feel like if there's any like particular niche in your like research interest or in like like any like cool ideas you might have, I think there is definitely a space for you here. Um, that's kind of what excites me is that like I feel like I can like any project I can think of, I feel like I can find the resources or find people here who kind of like resonate with me or think the same way that I could talk to. And that I think is a really exciting for me.
I can go. I think honestly, just being able to be in a community where I'm able to relate with other people who are pursuing public health and pretty much have the same, I would say, goals or similar interests as me. And then definitely being able to network with other people and just seeing how, like, the great work that other people are doing in so many different areas. Like, you go to the law school, you go to the business school, and these people are doing amazing things, groundbreaking research. And it's just so awesome to be able to learn from these people and be able to interact with them and just learn about what they're doing. And then I'll definitely say being in Boston, Boston is for me, it's a bigger city. I know people other people from like New York and bigger cities are like Boston small. For me, Boston's big. So just being able to explore Boston, I've been to a couple of places, some museums, some parks here and there. So it's very nice to be in a big city and, get to see Boston and explore Boston. But also overall, just being part of the Harvard community. I feel like there's so many resources here, but so many opportunities as well that we get to, take advantage of and utilize to, be in the careers that we want to be. So
Yeah, almost everyone has mentioned it. Networking is what you would hear a lot when you come to Harvard. Um, it's a lot, and that's one of the most amazing part of Harvard. You meet extraordinary people who are very down to earth. You have professors who have been in government for a while. You have people who have managed large funds. You have just research opportunities are aligned for you, and everyone wants you to come and apply, just willing to harness you and let you grow. So I say that that is one of the most amazing parts. The student body is also very amazing and diverse. Um, and almost every day there's food. There's a program and there's free food at Harvard. It's like a thing. It's a thing. Even if you don't want to learn, just walk into a program, eat, have fun, meet a lot of people, and you go back to your small bed and or whatever wherever you find your safe haven. And that is the most amazing part of Harvard, being part of 12 graduate schools, and you can even cross register with MIT and TUF. So this cannot be achieved anywhere else. I think that's the most amazing part of Harvard. I
mhm.
see a question from Nicole. Might have missed it. Mentioned MPH applications, by the different things with the in-person and virtual format. Um, it's it's not so much different. It's the same credits. If you're doing an online 45, you are required to take 45 credits. It's just that with in-person, it is more structured where you have to go to classes with your cohorts at a certain time. With the online, you tend to be, you have the leeway to be wherever you want to be, but I think it's being offered to people just within the US and Canada, right, Princess? And you can work together, you can work while schooling. So that's just the main difference here. Or you want to say anything about it? Okay.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
I think we are talking so much about the MPH program. Someone has been asking about the DRPH program specifically. Would any of you want to talk about that? I think I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as Tarek said, one thing to note is that the DRPH goes through Harvard Chan, but PhD goes through the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. One thing to also note is the DRPH program, you can say it deals more with leadership, and also has a big focus on people who have somewhat had experience in the field and are wanting to come back to, learn more skills to be able to take on leadership roles within public health. I will definitely say, because it is housed in Harvard Chan, if you have any specific questions in relation to the DRPH program, do reach out to admissions and they will be happy to answer any questions that you have in regards to that. It does differ, I will say, sometime between like the years required for work, etc. So to make sure that your questions are being answered specifically to your case, definitely reach out to admissions, and then I will put their emails here in case anybody needs that. And then I also saw a question about if Harvard Chan accepts Fulbright scholars. Yes, I do know a couple of Fulbright scholars we have on campus. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Someone asks, Derek, would you want to answer those questions? It says, what industries are you able to work after the MPH program?
I would say that depends on the concentration of MPH that you go into, but I think just in general, I would say that public health is a very interdisciplinary field. And so there are really like diverse ways of, using one's degree in public health in different career fields. I know people go into policy, who work in state or federal government afterwards. And not necessarily at Chan, but just my kind of like my understanding of people who get like a master's degree in public health. What are the career options? You could also go into like working for NGOs, working in nonprofits, working in like program evaluations. You can, if you're more interested in like statistics or epidemiology, you can also work as like epidemiologists or biostatistician, statisticians at like local government levels or at like private companies. So there really is a lot of like applications for a master's degree in public health. So I would say that it really depends on what you hope to do for your career and what interests you within the field of public health. And also I saw a question about kind of like questions about visa and kind of admissions for folks with already an MPH degree but applying now for an MS degree instead. I personally don't have an answer to that, so I would say I'm not sure if Princess or LM you guys could answer to this, but there's also Princess also sent like the admissions contact for anyone. I would say that this would be a great question for our admissions staff, who would have a better understanding of these topic areas.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I know with global health is what I'm looking at for the question specifically. I don't I don't think visa is something they consider when they're looking into the applications. So but definitely do reach out to admissions and help them. They will help you clarify that question.
No, I'm an international student. We'll be holding an international student webinar very soon. A visa is not part of the things that you're looking out for. It's just the application material is the main real things you're looking out for. And also the job options are vast. You get so much, you don't know how to make a decision. You might even want to go into consulting. You can anywhere that you want to go. MPH EPI program is a very competitive. Every program is competitive. So, but once you're here, we believe you are the best fit. So just put in your application. What's the worst that can happen? The best that can happen is that you'll come to Harvard and you'll be here next year. So every just see it's at every concentration is competitive, and you would have to put in your best foot forward, as if you're the only one who is getting into the program. Princess, I think I see another question for you and Derek. Why did you select T.H. Chan as the institute to educate you? Has the learning experience met or exceeded your expectations?
That's a great question, actually. I think for Chan, I knew that I specifically wanted to do a master's of, I wanted to do research. And after looking at their different programs, the Masters of Science track was what suited my needs specifically. I wanted to do global health as well, and they have a lot of faculty members who are well versed in their research. They have ton of experiences, ton of data. So it's very important to be able to know the faculties that I could potentially work with. And I think Chan was the closest to being able to meet that. I will also say just knowing the plethora of resources that Harvard Chan has as well. As an international student, I was very specific in the schools that I wanted to go to because I knew that choosing the resources will be very important for me. I needed the resources that I could succeed with. So Chan was able to, provide that for me. That's why I chose this one.
For me, one of the few deciding factors for why I selected to come to Chan, I think number one is just I was looking so I have an interest in more method focused and theory based, and I think that Chan is really a great institution for theories behind different epidemiological like methods. Like causal inference is a very big topic area here. It's in a lot of the classes that we take, and I have like an academic interest in that. Second is that I have, while reading a lot of the faculty's like profiles and the research projects that they're doing, I realize that a lot of the faculty's research projects align with my interests as well. And so, and like, I find myself often thinking like, oh, I would love to take this faculty member's class, or oh, I would love to like connect this with this faculty member. Well, if I do decide to go there. And number three was also just kind of I like the culture of like the student culture and the school's culture here. I felt was very, very inclusive and very supportive. During my admissions process, I was also kind of in kind of you guys' issues where I had a lot of questions that I hope to have answered. And whenever I reach out to the Office of Admissions staff, using the email address, I got like really, really great like answers back that really kind of like calmed my nerves. Where I was thinking like, oh, like what about this about like this specific requirement or that specific information. The Office of Admissions staff kind of like offered like a lot of great clarification and reassurance that like everything is going to be fine. And that kind of just to me was a very great like experience with interacting with the staff members at the school. And that to me was very important that like I feel supported and I feel like kind of listened to by the staff member, and that was also a contributing factor to me selecting the Chan School. And so I would say that so far the learning experience has definitely met and oftentimes exceeded my expectation, because the professors are really well versed in the topic areas, and I feel like I'm learning a new way of thinking in terms of public health and epidemiology.
I see a question here that talks about whether if you've had an MPH before, is it allowed to apply into the program or something of that sort? I'm missing it again. But yeah, I know someone who has a PhD and is in an MPH, it's an MPH 45 program. So there's always still a lot to learn. And whether you've had a master's degree, there's still a lot to learn. If part of your program you took a course which can be substituted, you can. So I believe that if you have a master's degree, whatever degree you have, you can still apply to the program, and it is not a reason for you it's not a reason for you to be denied into the program. That's what I know. Princess or Derek, do you know anyone in your class who has a master's degree or anything?
Not necessarily a master's, but they do have very like a plethora of experiences in the field, but they're still here to learn. So I don't think that would be a barrier.
Yeah, I've met folks with master's degrees from, like, they might have like an MBA or like a MPP, or like I've also, I think a lot of people also like alum or have like a medical degree, or like PhDs, or like a dental degree, or other like graduate degrees, and are now kind of like learning about public health and through the MPH program.
Yeah, so we have about 3 minutes before the webinar ends. So we'll just go around. Alan, Derek, and myself, I'll say, any final advice last? Oh, before we go to that, I will say, I see a lot of people here are from outside. We do have a international student panel as well that is happening on Monday. I'll send a link in the chat if you are interested in joining to learn more about the international aspect rather than the first gen aspect of chat. Yes. Any last advice, tips, recommendations, etc. For
And also, yeah, also a quick plug for our
Yeah,
sorry,
Derek,
my
we're talking.
internet. Yeah, sorry, my internet is like unstable, but I was also like put a quick plug for office hours with us admissions ambassadors. So if you like talking to, if you have any specific questions related to our individual experiences or our specific programs, or any other questions, feel free to schedule like a 30-minute like one-on-one Zoom meeting with us. The all of our admissions ambassadors office hours can be found on like the scheduling can be found on our admissions website.
I would also say that the days are getting closer. Don't feel like you don't belong. With the first and most impactful phrase that I heard when I came to Harvard was that you belong. But I had cold feet in applying earlier because I didn't know whether I would meet the criteria. Just know that once you're here, you belong here. Put in your application, put your best foot forward, and everything will go on well. As my other panelists have said, there are other office hours. We are ready to meet you at any time and help and be of help as best as we can. Yeah. And nice seeing all your questions. We appreciate you for being here too.
yeah, as Alan said, please make sure that you are submitting an application on time. You have all your requirements. You are getting those letters of recommendation. And don't let the name scare you. Just feel free, let them know why you want to come here, what you want to study, why you want to study it. And then apart from that, continue to explore these resources. These are great opportunities for you to learn more. And go to as many office hours as you can. Ask as many people as you can. If you need, or if you want to connect with us more, we have our office hours on there as well. I know LinkedIn is an option as well. If the panelists are comfortable with that, feel free to connect on LinkedIn as well and ask any questions that you do have, but also make sure that you're perusing the resources that you have available to you, and then also getting those applications in on time. And I will echo what Alan said, you do belong. Don't let the name scare you. You are very much capable.
Best of luck, everyone.
Best of luck. LinkedIn is very slow. Book us on our office hours. I think we would have meaningful conversations. Sometimes can be very busy and replies might come in late. It does not mean that we don't care. We value you. That's why we're here. Bye.
Thank you all.